What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Drivers Edition, and we are out in the range. Yes, you heard me. We are out in the Range Rover. Made it back home, got some rest. Now I'm heading out to meet up with my boy Chuck. You know, my guy, aka the mechanic. Everybody got a mechanic named Chuck. I'm just laughing because of the Rick Conti reference. But I'm heading to my man's Chuck house. I want to throw Zeus on his scanner to see what codes are in the system, because I did not take a scanner with me when I went to go purchase him. And being quite honest with you, I unloaded Zeus for this vehicle knowing when I looked at it there was a possibility it had a couple issues, but the issues in my opinion were not detrimental to me purchasing this car. So I'm actually headed out to see if my thoughts or opinions are right, to meet up with my man Chuck to see what error codes exist in this vehicle. Is there any hidden surprises or gems I did not know or did not kind of expect from my ownership of this Range Rover? And I know many of you said don't do it, they're unreliable, they're unpredictable, we're going to have problems, we're going to have problems, we're going to have problems. And to be honest with you, the way I feel is if you buy a reliable, or should I say a well-maintained Range Rover and look for signs of drama, you typically can find, as some people would say, the hidden gems, but I just find the well-maintained and problem-free versions of this car. And I believe they are out there. And am I saying I own one? I think I have a car that won't have a lot of drama, maybe just enough to entertain you guys, but ultimately my purchase reasons for this car, and I'm just going to be honest with you, it was to get something to spark some interest, make some decent content, and to fill in a void, like I mentioned in the introduction video for this car, fill in a void that I couldn't find any information on. And I'm just going to sit there and say it's like this. Range Rover built what they call an SV Autobiography. The only videos I see with the SV Autobiography are typically comparing it to the SVR, Range Rover Sport, comparing the performance. And there are a handful of videos, and I say a handful, that talk about the luxury you could get in this car. But honestly, nobody has a first-hand ownership experience of the car. Nobody has been able to tell you what it's like to daily drive, to live with and enjoy this car. Or should I say scratch their heads, throw their hands up, and have the issues that come with Range Rover to discuss why you shouldn't buy this car. And I feel like if nothing else, I'm probably one of those people that has the right opportunity and mindset to share that type of ownership experience with you. So that's why I bought it. Plus, I love the luxury of it. So you're going to get some firsthand content about this truck, which I have not finalized the name of this vehicle yet, but I have two names I'm strongly running with, but I promise you, within the week, he will get named. So stay tuned, or should I say, enjoy the ownership experience with me, enjoy the ride. Like I said, we're out in this SV Autobiography, and I hope you can see the luxury. The two-tone interior in this car alone says a lot. From everything, every aspect in this vehicle, from the door handles to the double screen to everything that can possibly make a Range Rover known for luxury, this car has. But it also has the off-road capabilities in case you decide to get funky and go off-road. Now, my plan is to off-road this thing at least one time, or take it off-road and have some fun with it. I mean, how do you own a Range Rover not? I owned one before and I did it twice. And it was such a great experience, especially driving the truck through 3 feet of water. You heard me correct. Driving it through 3 feet of water. So this is my first day behind the wheel of a Range Rover SV Autobiography. I'm going to kind of share the experience with you. People keep telling me I need to vlog more, so I'm going to keep you guys updated as I roll along, and while I start making some subtle changes to this truck. But for now, I'm just going to let you see it as I'm enjoying this ride.
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning, you wonder how I got this way. someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face. Got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change.
Well, I'm gonna share with you my thoughts of the truck thus far. So I bought it technically 24 hours ago, a little bit over 24 hours ago. And my first impression of the car, and I didn't really get as much footage as I would like when I first picked it up, because when the deal finally got done, I spent the whole day at the dealership. When the deal finally got done, it was nighttime, and just video recording at night wasn't working well with the camera lighting and so forth. So I did get to drive the truck 1,500 miles. So we are 1,500 miles into ownership of this car. And my first 1,500 miles, just so you understand, were all highway miles. They were high speed miles. They were driving at, I guess you can say, the speed limit above, but for the most part, I'm going to be honest with you, this Range Rover is just like Zeus in the fact that it likes to cruise, and it doesn't feel like you're going fast between 85 and 90 miles an hour. Now, the 0 to 60 times are not the same. I don't get there as quick as I did in Zeus, and there is a lack of respect factor from other cars and drivers around you, because even now, just because I'm rolling at a very decent speed, I have a lot of owners of, I would like to say, normal cars that see it and just hop in front of it. And they don't understand, this is not your everyday Range Rover. This is not the V6 edition Range Rover, which the more I look, the more V6s I see. This is not that car. This isn't even your typical V8 Range Rover. The SV stands for Special Vehicle Operations. As I like to tell people, if you see SV, that means sport vehicle, because it's going to have way more performance than any other version of the Land Rover model or the Range Rover model as well. And so this SV gets 557 horsepower. You heard me correct, 557 ponies up under the hood of this vehicle. And this vehicle moves. Now, like I said before, the 0 to 60 times are none to run home and brag to your parents about. I believe you get it done in 4.3 seconds or 4.5. I actually haven't tried to launch this vehicle. What I think is very interesting is just messing around with the truck on my drive home, I saw a lot of features in it that I just did not know it had. And to me, it just adds on to the luxury and the performance of the car. Now, these 557 ponies, like I said, when you get on it, this car moves. When you get on it from a rolling start, that's when this vehicle actually shows you the best performance, because being out here on the road, just being transparent with you, I was out here driving, as I always do, and like I tell people, in the real world driving experience, I'm with the car and a couple BMWs and a Cadillac Blackwing rolls up. Now, I'm not going to tell you I left a Blackwing. That is not this conversation piece. But they took off. And what's funny about it is they rolled up on me while I was rolling at a comfortable speed we discussed before, and they looked at me, and then they kind of took off like, why am I going this fast in the Range Rover? And being the person I am, because you know how show gets down, I pull off with them. Now, they were putting some distance on me, but the car was not show-stopping. This Range Rover was getting down. And I kind of had a smile on my face, and I was enjoying it because, truthfully, it has better performance than I was expecting. And that was my first time trying to showcase it. Then later on in my trip home, I ran across a Jeep owner in a regular SRT Jeep. So just sharing my experience with that, we were on the highway, and you know how it is when you get late at night. And I guess if you don't know, I'll share with you. There's this factor I like to call, you roll with a pack or you roll behind someone else, and you say, if the police get him, they ain't getting me. We call it the sacrificial lamb or the sacrificial lamb. When we're on the road at nighttime traveling, somebody becomes the designated sacrificial lamb. You let them go first. They're typically in front of you. Maybe, I would say, I wouldn't even give them a full quarter mile, but maybe at least a good 5 to 10 car lengths. And if you see them get lit up, you reduce your speed. Well, in that scenario, I was running with a guy with an SRT Jeep. And when I first came up on him, he was the sacrificial lamb, meaning I was pacing myself based off him and how far he was going in front. I think for a moment, he kind of got nervous, because if you're on the highway a lot, what typically happens, and it's not a guarantee factor, but what typically happens is the police or the state trooper or the sheriffs will typically try to get close enough to you to then they will drop down to the speed limit. And if you are pulling away, they know you're speeding. I've seen it, I've witnessed many times before. Then they'll take off after you and hit the lights. Well, because I was rolling a distance behind him and I was getting at a space where I was technically probably going very close or similar to the speed he was going, I can tell he got nervous. So he started to slow down, and I just kept rolling up on him. And as I got up on him, I passed him. So he made me the sacrificial lamb for at least 160 miles of our trip. That didn't bother me at all. So I'm going on the highway, and all I can say to you is I was driving the truck like I drive Zeus, which I have to kind of ease out of that sports car mentality. But I was driving the truck like I was driving Zeus, or like I would normally drive Zeus. And whenever I hit a gap and there's just no space, and I can kind of see that there really isn't an opportunity for a law enforcement vehicle to be sitting off to the side, I would kill the gap. And that's all I would say. So as I was doing this and he was trying to keep up with me, and then eventually he figured out what I was doing, and then he would try to run alongside of me, I was still slightly pulling away, putting the gap between us. So when I finally got off to get gas, he got off to get gas too. And when he came up to me at the pump, he came over to me and said, "Man, what did you put in that truck?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He didn't understand how a Range Rover could perform like this. He never knew this version of the Range Rover existed. So I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of people as I start to take this truck out more and more, and I get to being, I would say, an everyday driver and enjoying my ownership, and yet still tapping into performance with this vehicle. Is more and more people are going to become educated and learn that this vehicle actually exists, and hopefully I can shed a little bit more light on it and possibly spark up some interest in it. So that's what I hope to accomplish with this ownership experience. But for now, I'm gonna drop off for a few moments and go enjoy this ride and catch up with my man Chuck and see what's going on with the vehicle, and I'll update you a little bit later.